Skill 7.9. Justify why air is considered as a mixture of gases. S. Reasoning. SS. Critical thinking, problem solving. Objective: to analyze the composition of air and demonstrate that it is a mixture of gases. Instructions: scan the given QR code to access the worksheet named Air as a Gaseous Mixture Exploration, and solve it. Knowledge 7.3. Separation of components of mixtures. Many mixtures contain useful substances mixed with unwanted materials. In order to obtain these useful substances, chemists have to separate them from others. And thus, some techniques have been developed for the separation of the mixture's components. These separation methods are based upon differences in physical properties, e.g., boiling point, affinity of particles of mixture to filter paper, etc. The choice of method depends upon the type of mixture, i.e. to separate insoluble particles from a liquid, the filtration method is adopted. 2. To separate colored compounds and components of a mixture, the technique of chromatography is used. 3. To separate the soluble solids, evaporation as well as distillation methods are used. 4. To separate a liquid component from another liquid, distillation is used. Techniques of separations are given below. 7.3.1 Separation of insoluble solids. Sometimes the solid does not dissolve in the liquid. Filtration and decantation are used to separate such insoluble solids. 1. Filtration. When a cup of tea is poured through a tea strainer, you are carrying out a filtering process. Filtration is the most common separation technique. It is used when an insoluble solid needs to be separated from a liquid. For example, sand can be separated from a mixture of sand and water by filtering through filter paper as shown in Figure 7.10. The filter paper contains holes that are too small to be seen. It acts like a sieve. The sand gets trapped in the filter paper and the water passes through it. The sand is called the residue and the clean water is called the filtrate. Utilization. In homes and offices, water is purified in filtration units. Our vehicles contain fuel and air filters to prevent dust particles from getting into the engine. Vacuum cleaners use the technique of filtration for cleaning. Skills 7.10 to 7.13. Relate the properties of constituents used to separate them from a mixture. Make mixtures by using different substances and identify the method to separate their contents. Demonstrate basic principles involved in some separation techniques such as filtration, evaporation, and distillation. Show an awareness of applications of the various separation techniques in everyday life and industries. Skill 7.14 Make a slow sand filter S. 2. Decantation. Have you noticed that tap water often contains visible sand particles? If you let it sit for a while, these particles settle at the bottom because sand particles, being denser than water, sink. By gently pouring off the clear water into another container, it is ready to use. This separation process is called decantation, a technique used to separate insoluble impurities from liquids. For instance, in separating water from a muddy mixture, let the sand settle at the bottom and then pour off the water, leaving the sand behind as shown in the figure 7.11.